Well, they didn't know anything about the wall yet. That anyone had come to look out on the good affairs of the Jews. They didn't like this idea that Nehemiah had arrived. So he said, in the middle of the night, he got up and he told his, he came with apostle, and he went. So he says, he's talking about his journey. He went out of the gate that goes to the valley at night. He turned towards the crocodile spring, and he came then to Dung Gate. And he was actually, if you look at it carefully, look at the text, it actually says there he's sover b'chomot. We read it wrong yesterday. Although I see the Malbim says that some read it as shover, meaning to smash, and sover, according to the Ibn Ezra, who reads it like that, it's from the word svara. What's a svara?
Read? No.
Did you say?
Answer.
Not really.
Solution?
Not
Understand.
really. Logic. Svara is a logical argument.
To inspect the wall, basically?
So it means to inspect. It could be it still fits in with the Malbim to inspect them, you have to bash them to see, but it doesn't actually say shover, and as it says sover. Now usually sover as a svara means a logical argument, it's spelled with a samach, right? Here it's spelled with a sin, but that's acceptable. Sin and samach are the same sounds. So he was inspecting the walls of Jerusalem, which were breached, and the gates that had been consumed in fire, again to see what are the gates, what's their state. Do you just need a new wooden gate? Do you need a whole new frame? What needs to be done? Okay, so he continues in his nocturnal journey around the walls of Jerusalem. Pasuk Yudalet. Ve'e'evor, and I passed on, means I kept on journey, El Sha'ar Ha'ain, that means to the gate of the spring, Ve'el Brechat HaMelech, to the pool of the king. Now there was no king there, but there had been 100 years before this story, there had been a king in Jerusalem, and he had a palace. So the ruins of this palace were still evident. So there was a place called the King's Pool. Ve'en makom labehema, there was no place for the animal la'avor tachtai, to go underneath me. It means the animal that I was riding, I couldn't pass whilst riding the animal, possibly because the place was too narrow, or too dangerous, or too many boulders. He had to get off the horse, the animal that he was riding, to be able to carry it on foot. Va'ehi ole banachal, I was going up the spring. Up the nachal really means the valley. It's not, the valley is really the wrong word. It's not a spring. No. It means the path which a river would flow through. In English they call it a wadi, right? Which can either have water in it or not have water in it. Okay. It means it was eroded by a river. Now the river may only flow in winter, not in summer. It was still called a nachal, or it could be that the river gouged out this path 5,000 years ago, and there's no river there anymore. But it still be called a nachal. Okay, nachal doesn't have to have water in it. But I was going up the nachal, Laila, at night. Va'ehi sofer b'chomer, I was inspecting the wall. So I was going along the wall, following the path of the wall. Va'ashuv, and then I came back. Va'avo, and I came into B'shar Hagai, through the Sha'ar Hagai, the gate of the valley. That's one of the gates. The Yerushalayim's got many gates. Each one's got a different name. Today we've got Sha'ar Ashpot, Sha'ar Prachim, Sha'ar Arayot. He's got Sha'ar Damascus, Sha'ar Shechem. Each one's got a name why they've got those names. Okay, and they also had a reason. V'ashuv, and I came back. So he took the route back to where he came from. V'asganim. Now Sagan usually means a deputy. Americans have the deputy just means a type of
cop.
Yeah, right.
Type
right.
of officer. Yeah.
Yeah, but deputy really means second in command.
Yeah.
Okay, so here it means some type of person who was with him. Maybe the Persian guards, right, who had been with him. Lo yadu. Oh no, they didn't know. Oh no, halachti, where I went. Oh no, is where. They never knew that. You know, I skipped that in the middle of the night. They didn't know where I was gone. Umma ani oiseh, and what I was doing. V'la Yehudim, and to the Jews. V'la Kohanim, and to the priests. V'la Chorim, and to the... Now, who are the Chorim? I think the Chorim are the Goyim, because one of these names, Sanballat, was called Sanballat HaChoroni, which is some type of, I imagine, non-Jewish people who live in or around Jerusalem. V'la Sganim, and to the deputies. U'liyeseh oisei hamalacha, and to the other... Yes, the rest, the remaining workers, Ad Cain lo higarati. I didn't tell them. I suppose it means I didn't tell them either. So I didn't tell anyone what I was doing, except for the group of people who were with me. Nobody else knew. Okay. V'omar aleim, and I said to them. Now this means in the morning, not at night. Right? It means no one knew what he'd done the night before to inspect the walls, and now in the morning stood up and made an announcement. V'omar aleim, so I said to them, Atem ro'im hara'ah, you see the bad or the evil asher anachnu bo that we are in. It means the situation that we here in Jerusalem having to suffer. It's all because we don't have this wall. If we had a wall to protect us, we have to keep out the bad elements from Yerushalayim. Asher Yerushalayim chareva, because the city is in state of destruction. U'sha'areha nitzasu ba'esh, and its gates have been burnt in fire. Lechu, let's go, v'nivneh, and build et chomat Yerushalayim, the walls of Jerusalem. V'lo niyeh od cherpa, we won't any longer be a disgrace. It means we're being disgraced by those who make fun of us, and those who attack us, and those who harass us, those who, right? So if we had this wall to protect us, things would be a lot better. So let's do this. Va'agid lahem, and I said to them, Es yad Elokai, about the hand of God, asher hitova alai, that was good upon me. Means I explained to them how good has God been to me, because I'd been given permission by the king of the empire to do this. It wasn't just an idea that came into my head. They've no idea. They just know that this Rabbi Nehemiah arrived in Yerushalayim, and that's all they know. So now he's telling them, you should know, I've got this plan, and it's not just my own idea, I've actually got permission from the king. And that's how good God has been to me. Va'agid lahem, I said to this crowd of people who were listening to me, Es yad Elokai, the hand of God, asher hitova alai, which was good upon me. How good God's been to me. Va'af divrei HaMelech, and also the words of the king, Asher Marli, that he said to me, that I said that as well. So I told them God's been good to me, and God's given me permission from the king. Yomru, and they said, this was their reply, Nakum, let's get up, Ubaninu, and let's build it. Vayechazku Yedeihem L'Tova. Vayechazku Yedeihem L'Tova. And they strengthened their hands for good. I suppose that means they all shook hands or agreed to do this. They strengthened each other's hands to good for this good plan. So the Jews that he's talking to said, that's a great idea, Nehemiah, we're all on your side, we're going to build Yerushalayim. Okay? Again, it wasn't like he needed his idea. They didn't have, without permission, they couldn't do it. That would have been a sign of rebellion against the king if they tried to build the walls of the city without his permission. Because that would then give them fortifications. They could not pay taxes, and they wouldn't have to worry about the king, right? Like they were accused of many years beforehand. So, with permission from the king, he's shown them that he has permission. Now they're happy to join in his building plan.
Who's this?
He's asking you about your machine, Dylan.
Oh, the camera.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right. Okay, so that's the end of that section. Okay, I'm saying that because you notice in Hebrew there's a pay. That means we've really got to the end of a story, and the Goyim made the chapters in two psukim time, but really that's the end of the section. Okay, that's the way the Jews react to Nehemiah's plan. I'm not sure why he had to do this at night time. It has to be a surprise. Could have gone out during the day and inspected it. I don't know.
But maybe it also would help.
Maybe you couldn't sleep and just decided to
But maybe it would also help convince the argument, because people in the morning be like, oh look, people have been coming in over the wall.
I mean, he showed them that last night.
He was able to do all this without anyone noticing.
Or like, yeah, even people that would just be like, oh, we're going to rebuild the walls, and then like they'd walk around the walls next time, be like, oh, look, people have been in here. We should do something about it.
Okay.
I just persuaded.
Vayishma Sanballat HaChoroni. So we mentioned it beforehand, right? He was the one who was upset that Nehemiah had come at all, and they heard about this plan, Ezra's plan to build the walls. And this is going to be great because they're the ones who are doing the raiding. They're the ones who are harassing the Jews in Yerushalayim, and these walls are going to take their job away, right? Their income from stealing, and they're harming Jews. Vayishma Sanballat HaChoroni. Sanballat the Choroni heard, together with Tuvia HaEved HaAmmoni, who was an Ammonite slave. I suppose he was, but if he was still a slave, he wouldn't have very much power. Like he was called that. The Geshem ha'Arab is a new guy who joined in. He's called Geshem, interesting name, because Geshem in Hebrew means rain, right? But it could just mean whether Gashmios, which means physical. No, it could be a very physical person, or it could mean something else in the language that he spoke of. But he was an Arab, or Arabi. He was an Arab. Vayaligu lanu, and they made fun of us. Loeg used to mock somebody. They mocked us. Vayivzu aleinu, and they despised us. Vayomru, this is what they said to us. What is this thing that you're doing? What are these plans? You think you're going to build the walls of Jerusalem? Joke. Are you rebelling against the king? That was their. They didn't know that Ezra had an official document, right? They just heard this rumor the Jews are building the walls. They started to joke and make fun of us. So I, Nehemiah speaking, I replied. Lahashiv means to return or to reply. I gave them an answer. And I said to them, Elohei Hashamayim, the God of the heavens, Hu Yatzliach Lanu, He will give us success. V'anachnu avodav, we are His servants. Why will God give us success? Because we are His servants. Nakum uvaninu, we will get up and we will build. V'lachem ein chelek utzdaka v'zikaron b'Yushalayim. To you, well, we don't want you to be in with us. We're not doing with you. Just like they didn't want them to build a base of English with them. Now they say, get out of it. We don't want to be partners with you because we know they're just going to sabotage our plans. That was their concern. If they would try joining with them, they would put cement in the holes and put sand in the right, and therefore
That's what they used for the Beit HaMikdash?
Well, that's what they suspected they might do, and that's why they didn't want them to join it. It's interesting that he didn't say, we have permission from the king. That's what I would have said. Because that's what he said. You're doing this to rebel against the king. So don't you mean the king gave us permission to do it, right? He didn't do that. He says, Hashem will help us, we'll be successful, Hashem's on our side, and we'll get out of here, we're not interested.
Saying that the root cause of it is Hashem's will, rather than the king's greed, like he's going beyond that.
Right, that's what it says. It says we, although it's a bit of a chutzpah, to disregard, not mention the king in the story.
Yeah, you want to speak to them on their level.
Unless they're trying to, their level is because they're like, I don't know.
Maybe he's trying to waste their time so that way they'll go petition the king.
Waste their time?
Yeah, why is that?
Why does he want them to petition the king? And then the king will get annoyed with them.
Yeah, so that the king will annoy the Jews and do their job for them.
Yes, you have no portion utstaka and charity. Funny word. V'zikaron and remembrance means you have no intentions to be righteous and be charitable in Jerusalem. Your intentions, we understand your intentions are evil, and that's why we don't want to join with you. So now the next chapter is a very interesting chapter. Yeah, it's a bit boring, right? It goes all the way around, but I want to share this map with you. This map might help us. We're going to build the walls of Jerusalem together. That's what chapter 3 is about who built it, which sections were built, where it was built, and let's just contrast it. I mean, I don't know if someone's actually investigating where these places are, but they're just planning it around the present walls. So if you look at this map, you have here Har HaZeisim on the top right. You see that?
Yeah.
Okay, and you have Har Zion on the left, and you have Gate Ben Hinnom. So if you want to find out where we are around where it says Hama Arabi. Can you see that? Right in the middle of the map it says Hama Arabi. Now it might even say Hakotel Hama Arabi. I'm not sure what it says there. That's approximately where we are. Can you see?
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be Beit?
Yeah, somewhere around there. Somewhere. I'm not sure exactly. I'm not sure. But then you have Hachoma Harachava. And that's what we talk about, the broad wall. It's approximately where the shuk is. The shuk, the Arab shuk, that goes from the temple all the way up to Jaffa Gate. So Jaffa Gate is at the top where it says Migdal HaTanurim. It's around there approximately. They've got Migdal David, can you see? These are two maps, one on top of the other. The less clearer map is meant to be how it is today. You've got Migdal David, and that's where the shuk goes. So that straight line, HaChomah HaRechava, is like the shuk. Now, the broad wall at the bottom of the shuk, you have the broad wall there, which you can see they've excavated. It's a very, I mentioned it yesterday, a very wide wall that was built towards the end of the first temple period. And that's mentioned here in Nehemiah.
There's a difference between Kotel and Choma.
I think the Choma goes all the way around. The Kotel is just one wall. The wall of Jerusalem today is much bigger. So this whole section here, it says Har HaMoriah, is today the Arab section. They show you Harova HaNotzri. Can you see that?
Yeah.
Harova HaMuslami.
Yeah.
So to the Christian quarter and the Muslim quarter, these two things, they were added on by the Romans.
Yeah.
So at the time of this story, there is no wall there. That whole section is outside Jerusalem. And the most north, again, this is north as well. This side is north. It's important to know north over here. That's north. And we've got west, east, south. So Har HaZeisim is on the east. On the north is where Meir Sharim is. This is where Meir Sharim. You've got here. This is the railway line. The new railway line goes here. This would be what's it called? Shar Shechem. Damascus Gate would be around here. But that's all off the picture. We're much further in, and this is approximately, this is the base of Mikdash, this is the Shuk, this is Jaffa Gate, this goes down to where David's buried, Kever David. Well, if he is buried or not is another question. But it's what's called King David's tomb, is here, right, which was then. And then this was the old city of Jerusalem down here. This whole area, this is when King David built his Kaaba, didn't have any of this. It was just when the temple wall down here, and up there. That was a city in King David's time, just the temple and this ridge. Then this was all added on by Chizkiyahu HaMelech towards the end of the first temple. So now that's the size of Jerusalem. But most of this wall, or a lot of this wall, is being bashed and destroyed at the time that Nehemiah is rebuilding it. Okay? And we're going to go round here. We're going to go around the wall in this direction. We're going to start over here and go up north, across the northern side, down the west, across the south, and back to where we started. That's how we're going to build it. All right? So let's see. Vayakam Eliashiv HaKohen HaGadol. The high priest. His name is Eliashiv. He got up. Ve'echav HaKohenim, and his brothers, the priest. Vayivnu, and they built at Sha'ar Hatzon, the gate of the sheep. According to the Malbim, this is directly opposite the temple. So here you've got the temple, okay? So directly up in the middle of the eastern gate, you have here called Sha'ar Hatzon. Sha'ar Hatzon, we're starting here. See it? Sha'ar Hatzon.
Oh, yeah.
Got it? Underneath the word Migdal HaMeah. So that's a gate. Now, it was a gate that was directly, it's called the sheep gate, I suppose, because you would imagine on a regular day there'd be lots of people taking their sheep and their goats through that gate and go directly into the temple. So that was a gate that had always been there, and now they built it up. That's what it means. They built it up. Hema kidshuhu, they sanctify it. Now, how you sanctify a gate? Presumably, what it means is they gave it the kedusha of Yerushalayim. That means how you do it is a whole process. You have to do it with korbanos, with sacrifices. I'm not sure you have to walk around. It could be the moment they're not actually sanctifying, but there's actually 4 different words used in the process of this building. One is to sanctify, one is to build, one is to strengthen, one is to reinforce. You'll see different words used in Hebrew, right? Livnot.
What's the difference between?
We'll see. Well, livnot, lekadesh, lechazek, and la'azor. We'll go through each one as we add the dash. They're doing different things. So now, to sanctify means it gives it the holiness of Yerushalayim. Inside Yerushalayim, you're allowed to eat korbanos. You're allowed to eat ma'aseh sheni. Outside Yerushalayim, you're not allowed to eat these things. If you have leprosy, you must leave the walls. Now, who decides which walls we're referring to? There's lots of walls in Yerushalayim. Inner walls, outer walls. So somebody has to make that decision. So here the high priest, with the other priests, are deciding exactly till where the sanctity of Yerushalayim will be. Because once Yerushalayim was destroyed by Nebuchadnezzar, it lost that sanctity. So there was no significance to being in Jerusalem, right? If you wanted to eat a sacrifice, I suppose you have to eat in the temple. Yes, because there was no Jerusalem.
Must have changed in the temple.
If there's no walls. As far as I know, that once the temple was destroyed, it lost its holiness. They got it back now, so they're re-sanctifying this area that's going to be considered Jerusalem. Kidshuhu, they sanctified it up till here. Vayamidu daltotav, and they set up its gates. Va'ad Migdal Hameah, all the way up till the tower called Migdal Hameah. Now there's lots of towers on this wall. The first one we're going to meet is immediately north of there called Migdal Hameah. Now they've shown it here. No, right. Here. Start off. This is the point. Migdal Hameah is this point here. Can you see it?
Yeah.
They're talking about this dark wall, not this curved one. They've got the first black line is Sharatzon. So it means they built up that wall. After establishing that gate, which is right in the middle, they built up the wall till they got to Migdal Hameah.
Is that 360 camera or just a fisheye?
And then we continued. Kidshuhu, and they sanctified that at Migdal Hananel until another fortress, another tower called Migdal Hananel, which is, where's that? So they show it here further north.
Yeah.
Right? So I'm not sure how this works. Right? But around here, let's keep going. Va'al yado. Hi.
I came to say hi and bye. I'm gonna go lay down.
Okay.
No, I'm not gonna shake your hand.
Okay, you're not feeling well. Okay. Va'al yado, next to them, Banu built. You see, it didn't actually say they built. So they built the gate, and they sanctified it, and they put up the gates until Migdal Hameah. Kidshu, they sanctified it. It looks like they haven't actually built it, but they designated the north eastern border of the walls of Yerushalayim. Al Yado, next to them, Banu Anshe Yericho, the people of Yericho built. So
you can say something but you haven't built yet.
that's what it looks like to designate where the wall's going to be.
The area.
Could be. Now, each section of this wall was built by different groups of people. It could be different people building it at the same time. And that way they could finish it in, much quicker, right? We've got 60, 70 different areas of the wall being built at the same time. So the people of Yericho, they built next to them, Va'al Yado, and next to them, Bana Zakur ben Imri. I suppose it doesn't mean on his own. It could be him and his sons and his brothers-in-law, whatever, they built the wall next to them. Ve'shar HaDagim. So the next thing going around is the Dagim gate. They show you here by the number 400.
Fish gate?
Fish gate. Can you see it next to the number 400?
Is that where the fishmongers brought their product or something?
Something like that. Yeah. The Banu B'nai Hasana'a, the people of the Sana'a family, they built the fish gate. Hema Keruhu, they put the beams. Vayam, they put beams for this gate. Now the previous gate didn't say beams. It could be the previous gate already had beams. They just had to put in the gates. Here they had to put in beams. Vayamidu so they also put up the gates. Manulav, also it's a lock. Manul is a lock. Barichav and its bolts. Barichav is a bolt.
Could sanctifying the gate mean putting up a mezuzah? Or is that just a standard practice?
I don't think it means that. It could be.
So not all the gates were locked, only some of them are.
I don't know. Maybe the others didn't pay for the lock. Somebody else did. Maybe the municipal
Maybe
council.
they had locks already.
Maybe they still have little gates there. Okay. So they put in gates and they put in locks and the bolts. Valyono, next to them. Now here's a new word. Hechazik, strengthened Meremot ben Uriah ben Hakotz. That means the wall continues going now westwards, right? We started on the east of the temple. We went to the corner, okay, by going northwards. We're now going across the northern border. We've gone to the what's it called? The fish gate, and we're next to them. We're strengthened. So the Malbim is strengthened means the wall was there. Just the wall needed strengthening. At certain points the wall needed strengthening. So Echzik, they strengthened the wall. Who did this? Meremos ben Uriah ben Hakotz. Al Yodam means next to them. Hechzik, another Meshulam ben Berecha ben Meshezav El. He strengthened the wall further along. Al Yodam next to them. Hechzik Tzadok Ben Ba'ano. Ve'al Yodam, next to them, Hechaziku HaTekoim. There's people from a place called Tekoa. The people from Tekoa who didn't even live here. Maybe they live here now, but they're originally from Tekoa, and they built the next section of the wall. Ve'adireihem. Now, Adir means it's a word that we use about Hashem. Adiru, it means unique, special. So there were some special people from Tekoa. Lo heviu tzavaram, they didn't bring their necks, but avodas adonaihem, in the work of their masters. It's what the Malbim says. What this means: some people from Tekoa got down to work, and those who were aristocracy, special people from Tekoa, they didn't go in for the work. They didn't put in their necks to work their masters. Now, who's their master? Doesn't mean Hashem, because he wouldn't write it in plural. It means the mayor of Tekoa came along and he got all the people from Tekoa. Right, we're going to build this section of the wall, but there's some people who didn't join up. Some of the people from Tekoa didn't join in. It could be that they joined in a different section of the wall, as we're going to be saying later on. Later on, there's another section of the wall built by other people in Tekoa. It could be these people. So they didn't feel that they were subject to the instructions from their master. They said, well, you do that bit, we're going to find our own piece to do. Ve'shar ha'yeshana, the old gate, is that further along? According to them, it's a bit further on, can you see? On top of the hay, of the word Amar. Hechaziku, that was strengthened. So it looks like there is a gate there, the gates need strengthening. Yoyada ben Paseach. Page 22. Umishulam ben Besoidya. Heimoke Ruhu. They put in the beams. Vayamidu dal Soisab. They also put in its gates. Umanulav and its bolts. And its locks. Berichav and its bolts. But it looks like it didn't need building, right? But it did need strengthening. I imagine these gates have got a brick frame, and then inside the brick is a wooden gate. Okay, so the gate's made of wood, so the bricks either need rebuilding, or they don't need rebuilding, or they need strengthening. V'al Yodam, next to them, so we keep going further west. Hechazik Malatcha HaGivoni, he's a Gibeonite. V'Yodon HaMeironisi, Anshe Givon, they're men from Givon. V'HaMitzpah, and then from Mitzpah. Lechise, now Kise means a chair. Pachas, that's the governor. Ever Hana'ah, of the other side of the river. So the Malbim says that means, Lechise means under the auspices of. A chair here means like a throne. I mean, the governor of the western side of the river, he was in charge of these people, and they worked for him, and they built this section of the wall. Al Gadol, next to them, Hechazik Uziel ben Charhaya Tzorfim. Al Gadol, next to them, Hechazik means strengthen the wall, Chananya ben Harakachim. Vayazvu Yerushalayim. Now, this is the third wall. Ya'azvu, says the Malbim, means to strengthen it in a different sense. Not just to strengthen the wall that is existing that may fall down, but it means to fortify it. And he explains that the northern side of Yerushalayim is the most vulnerable. If you look on these sides, you'll see there are valleys. There's the Mount of Olives, and then there's a valley between the Mount of Olives and the Temple Mount. On this side, you have Gei Ben Hinnom, which is also, right? And here you have a Har Tzion, and you have another valley over here, not sure what it's called. Emek, this is called the I mean, imagine you go out to Jaffa Gate, right? So on the left, you've got the valley that goes down there. The side which is vulnerable is the Arab Quarter. The Arab Quarter, plus as you keep going further and you get to Damascus Gate, that's all flat. So any enemy that wants to attack will attack from that side. So he said that's why this whole section over here doesn't have any, it's got a wide wall, special fortified wall. There's no gates in this side because we don't want people to come in from this side, and that's why it says that this side was specifically Yazvu to give it stronger ad hachoma harachava, until we get to this wide wall. So we're going like down here until we get